she didn't care about being perfect all the time, and she didn't care about wearing something different all the time. It wasn't about that. Her makeup bag had a lot of repetition, lots of variations of the same thing, but she didn't ever have a lot of makeup tools.
You mean like brushes and eyelash curler and all that stuff?
She had very, maybe like 3 makeup brushes, and that was it.
Was she careful with her makeup?
No. You'd go into her bathroom.
Did she ever wash those brushes?
Everywhere. You'd walk into her bathroom and it would just be everything everywhere. It was, like a bomb had gone off whenever she did it. It's like everything all over the surface. When she was going on tour, she didn't have a makeup artist, so she'd do it herself a lot of the time. And a lot of the time, we'd have like 0 minutes to get ready because she'd be running around backstage. And then she'd just do everything in like half an hour, 20 minutes, just shove it all on. And like, it wouldn't be perfect, but it would never be wonky. It was there, it was her look, and then she'd go on stage and then that would be...
It's kind of like another example of how the imperfection made the look.
Yeah.
It's not only about how she did it, like what she was using was not perfect.
No.
And that made the look.
Yeah. She definitely took inspiration from like strong female characters. Brigitte Bardot, the way she has the beehive and then the long hair at the same time. And it's sort of, she took that and just made it her own. Planet Terror was a film that she used to watch obsessively, and the main character in that is Cherry Darling. She's missing a leg and she's got a gun for a leg, and she wears like short, tight dresses, but still's like managing to kill all of these zombies. And it's just, I think Amy saw herself as a bit of a badass.
That was her fantasy, go and kill zombies.
Yeah, go and kill zombies with a machine gun leg. They've all got a bit of an edge, the characters, like her. With Frank, it was this sort of vintage jazz singer, like vintage clothing, pin-up girl, but sort of, nicey-nicey. And she was like, no, I'm a rebel, I'm a punk, this is not like me. And completely rebelled against it, and that's when she started getting tattoos, and then the hair started getting bigger, and then it sort of turned into a small beehive, and then the beehive was just slowly getting bigger and bigger.
What was a story that you were telling me that's when the proper beehive was born?
This was the David LaChapelle shoot, which was, we shot it was for Tears Dry on the Road, the video Tears Dry on the Road, and we shot it in LA. And she had a different hairstylist there, and he introduced her to the Hair Baby, and Hair Baby was fake hair that was like backcombed, sprayed with like glue hairspray, and like loads of it, tons of it, put into 2 hairnets and like wrapped over one another. And so he sort of came into the hotel room and just presented her with 3 Hair Babies, like look, you've got a small one, you've got a medium one, or you've got a big one, you've got a really big one. And she obviously went for the really big one. And so that's when her hair was like...
So that was the point when after that it was like, okay, I'm not turning this down.
Yeah.
Was the makeup like that, or was it more kind of like an evolution that it became to, what
Yeah,
it was, because it was so iconic, the really thick black liner?
I think as the hair got bigger, the makeup got bigger, the hemlines got shorter, the dresses got tighter. It's just everything just got a little bit more excessive. Because
the makeup look, even if it's not a natural look, it's quite dramatic look. It's quite simple anyway. It's not like, there's a lot of like details and blending and this and that and like, building it. Yeah. It's like chuk, done.
There wasn't a lot of products at all.
When you look at the makeup bag, it's funny, there's a lot of makeup, but it kind of all looks the same color-wise. So this is the bag where she actually kept the makeup.
It's one of them. She had lots of little bags, but this is kind of a selection of the stuff.
So it's interesting because we were talking about the colors, like all those kind of like peachy and oranges and corals. Kind of like everything is like, in a way, even if they are different, it's kind of the same color palette.
Yeah.
Like this is the nail stuff.
Different variations of the same thing.
Different variation of that kind of coral color. So this is the Illamasqua, the original blusher that she wore. So this is a pixie that is in the new collection.
Yeah. At the time, Illamasqua was really new, and with all the brands that she wore, they've been around for ages, and so it really stood out to me. And the name's really unusual, and then obviously the brand ethos is very similar with who Amy was as a person, and that individuality and being yourself and being authentic.
Do you think she actually went to the shop herself to buy the stuff and just choose exactly, because the colors are so specific?
Yeah, that she would have bought that herself. It wouldn't have been, or unless maybe a makeup artist introduced her to it. But I mean, she definitely would have then bought it herself, because it's the only blusher that I've ever seen her use. It's always been that one.
So this one is still a current product, but then the lipstick, this was called Over.
Right.
So this got discontinued, but we redid it again, exactly the same color.
Yeah.
But we changed the formula a little bit, because this is like matte, and now we made it like a little bit more sheer and glossy, kind of easier to wear. But the color is exactly the same, and the name too.
Yeah.
And this, she just used it like that.
She didn't have any sort of makeup tools really, so I think she must have used it with her fingers and just sort of like dabbed it on. But I remember that, always remember seeing that out and open on her dressing table or in the bathroom or in the hotel.
This?
Yeah, that one. It just, for her makeup, that was the thing that stood out most to me. And maybe it's because it was so coral, actually. And it seemed like...
I mean, when you keep on looking at the lip pencils and the other lipstick, if you blend all those together, you kind of get that color.
Yeah. Her grandmother apparently said that when she painted her toenails, she always painted them in coral, because that coral went with everything.
She said that to Amy.
Yeah. And so I think that just stuck with her. And, she was such a huge inspiration to Amy. So, that's really why she's got so much coral.
That's amazing how there is, that emotional connection with choosing something that you decide, to build your look on that.
Yeah. I think people generally, like kids, they're looking to magazines for inspiration and that sort of thing, and what the new trend is. And she drew something from her grandmother, which I think is really lovely.
Do you think it was just that color choice, or there was something else about the whole image?
Well,
with the hair and the clothes and the eyes and everything.
She always used to say that because her hair was really, really dark, and her skin was quite, even though she was olivey, it was still quite pale. And she always used to say that she didn't want to look like a witch, and if she wore all black, it made her look like a witch. So I think she wanted quite soft.
I mean, it's quite genius, that kind of balance of something quite hard, like graphic, black, when all the other elements being quite girly and pretty and peachy pink.
Yeah. She just looked very, very pretty and didn't look gothy at all.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, that can easily go that way. What you're saying with the massive, very dark hair. If on top of that the makeup is that.
Yeah. I wondered what your kind of thoughts on her makeup are. And I know that these seem
You mean back then?
Yeah, back then.
I mean, even back then, it was already iconic.
Yeah.
Because I remember, doing jobs and, a stylist or the photographer, a reference could be, an Amy liner.
Yeah.
The Amy liner is that, something that, and it's graphic. And if you're gonna dissect the liner, is that everything was happening almost outside of the eye.
Yeah.
Because, all that, and that's probably the reason we were talking about how come it did, it never creased, it never smashed, because everything was here. It was longer than the eyebrows.
Yeah.
There was nothing else like that. That's why, when you say that, the Amy liner, well, it can only be that one.
Yeah. Do they still reference that?
Oh, definitely.
Really?
And they always will.
Yeah.
They always will. That's a look.
Yeah.
That will never go away.
Yeah.
When did the idea of doing a makeup collaboration start?
It was always, I mean, it made sense to do something because her makeup was so iconic. It always made sense to do something. And obviously we're wanting to continue her legacy. And she's got this whole new load of fans as well that are 18 years old. And they're never gonna get anything new. There's no more music to release. And so we wanted to create something for them as well that continued her legacy and also introduced her to new audiences. But it's timing, as well is really important with something like this. And a lot of people were still focused on the sort of tragedy and the negatives, and I totally understand that, but now it's time to look forward and celebrate her, and there's so many things that are going on that are really celebratory and focused on her music and her style and her look and like the impact that she's had on fashion and music.
I think it's amazing that, you know, you can have something that is exactly what she used to wear.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's what she used to wear and put on her face, like on her cheeks.
Now they've got access to things that she would actually use and colours and everything.
Do you recognize her?
The tattoos.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. This is amazing. I love this picture. I absolutely love this picture.
It's great.
It's just, so this is with her beehive, like the messy, it's not perfect, but it looks great. And her makeup here as well. Her makeup's really good. Oh, her hearts were so distinctive.
Where did that come from? You know, like putting hearts everywhere. Because when you look at her
done.
notes, it's like
Everywhere.
hearts everywhere.
I know. I don't know. She's just always done it. And like some of the notes that we've got are from way back when she was at school. But they're really distinctive. You can tell that that's an Amy heart. Love this one. What she's going to do when she gets home. It's just so funny.
What,
it's
like
just
a to-do list?
She's made
What
her
does
to
it
do
say?
this, like, do tweezer thang, blow dry hair. I mean, who needs to list that? It's just
Tweezer thang.
Yeah, she had so many lists. Do splits and toning shit. New exercise regime.
Did she actually do what was on the list?
Probably. She had lists for everything. That's nice. Oh, and her drawing of the eye as well.
Yeah.
She used to do that a
love
lot
that
too.
Drawing. What, drawing eyes?
Yeah, drawing eyes and drawing faces. She had like this image, and I don't know whether it was her drawing herself. I mean, it must have been, because it was the beehive and the eyeliner and the earrings and everything. But she used to draw that quite a lot. I love that. And these are the ones that she wore.
Yeah,
Same
these
colours.
two. Yeah, that's the same color, but like in the new formula. Try it. You will see that it's a lot more like transparent than the other one.
Yeah.
But the color is the same and the name, but it's just like a sheer version of it.
Yeah, that's lovely.
And the blusher is just the same color.
We'll soon find out. We'll try it. Oh, it's really nice and glowy.
I mean, it's like those two are the only like color products in the box. Because then you have, you know, the eyebrow
Yeah.
cake Camden. It's just like a neutral color, like medium brown to define eyebrows, but then everything else is black.
Yeah. Good thick liner. Back to black. Yeah, for the eyeliner, that makes a lot of sense.
I don't think things like that existed back then. Like a big, thick, like felt pen liner.
No, they were all like little paint brushes, like really thin brushes, or they had like a felt tip, but they were really thin. But
Do you want to take the lashes off? The corner lashes are like same as the song.
Yeah, just friends.
Friends.
I quite like that. Yeah, that's exactly the sort of thing that she would have worn.
Yeah, they're so much easier to apply than the full thing.
Yeah.
It's just the corners.
Just sort of exaggerate the eyeliner a bit more.
Exactly. Well, it's kind of just following that line of the liner.
And then this is the mascara.
Yeah, like black thickening mascara.
Yeah.
Thickening false eyelashes. Thick black eyeliner.
All about the eyes. She used to leave her mascaras to sort of, when they dried a bit and like get thicker,
Yeah.
and then just really like pile it on.
Yeah.
Big hair, smoky eyes, pink lips. Love that. Oh, it's lovely. That's how authentically herself she was.